So, I'm going to be a fly guy. Now, before I get into it, I'll want to kind of tell you my thoughts about fly fishermen. Now, to correlate that from a real life situation to the actual fishing, I kind of like compare it to this. So, in your house, you're in your living room, and all of a sudden there's a house fly flying around. Okay, now you got to kill that house fly. So, how do you do it? Okay, now how it correlates to fishing is like with me. I don't kind of focus on any certain techniques. I'm whatever the fish is going to bite, I'm going to use. However, whatever time of the day that the fish are going to eat, that's when I'm going to be fishing for them. Wherever they are, that's where I'm going to go. So I'm pretty much whatever it takes to get that fish caught is what I do. So in that home scenario, basically what I would do is get a can of Raid and basically fog that living room, and pretty much anything in it dies. It's just boom, that's it, guaranteed, no if, ands, or buts, game's over for the fly. So that's kind of the way I do things. Now then on the flip side though, is you've got other fishermen that are kind of like, well, I'm an artificial baits person, or I only throw soft baits, or I only throw hard baits, or I only use live baits, or what, so on and so on. Now I kind of correlate those kind of fishermen to be like someone that would come in, see the fly, so they would go get their fly swatter, okay, that one little tool, and they'd wait for that fly to land, and then they'd smack it and kill it, okay? That's that type of fisherman. Now, the fly fisherman, okay? The fly fisherman is going to come in, see a fly, he's going to walk into the kitchen, he's going to grab a pair of chopsticks, he's going to sit himself in the middle of the room on a nice little chair there, nice posture, and just kind of sit there and go click, 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 and try to catch it because it's sporting, or it's kind of the way to do things, and it's classic, and it's whatever you want to call it. So that's my kind of thoughts on being a fly fisherman. So it's kind of the opposite scale of how I am. But what's happening now is like, and I'm going to be targeting specifically is the tarpon. That's the most kind of synonymous with the fly fishing down here in the Keys. But I've got a pretty good setup with the tarpon. If you've been watching the videos, I can catch them pretty regularly. I've got a good system in place, good locations. I kind of understand what they're doing, so I can go and pretty much get them anytime. And it kind of goes back to some of my other videos where I talk about the basic Keys fishing of just being able to go out and bend a rod, catch a few small snappers or grunts or jack crevalles or whatnot, okay? Just having that comfort level of knowing that you can spend 2 or 3 days targeting a marlin or tunas or groupers or whatever it be, or tarpon, okay? And then not having any luck with those, getting frustrated, and being able to go out and do a basic technique and just catch a bunch of fish all day and have a good time, and then be able to go back to focusing on a harder technique with it that takes more of a skill set. So since I got kind of the tarpon thing down, I could basically felt comfortable moving to the fly fishing thing and give me an opportunity to try something new, a little bit different, make a few different videos, okay? Maybe reach a little different proportion of viewers and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of just something new to play with, I guess is what it is. So anyways, now, if you've also been watching my videos, is that I'm not a really big name brand, gotta get top of the line, because to be cool you gotta have the best, or the most expensive stuff is always the best. I just like stuff that works, it's good, it's functional, okay? If you see the equipment I use, like I said, it's not Kmart brand stuff, it's solid, good quality, the things that need to work, okay? But beyond that, they're not shiny, spiffy, and they don't have the big price tags on them. So I almost took that to even a bottom level on this fly fishing, because I could really, truthfully, give a crap about whether I catch it or not on the fly fishing. It's just a little thing to do in the meanwhile while it's here. So fly fishing is a sport that is very expensive, okay? These guys spend ungodly amounts of money to catch this tarpon on a fly, from the guide boats to the equipment to all the little accessories that go with it. So, and I'm definitely not going to invest that money into something that you understand that I don't really care that much about. So I went going in that fact, and if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. So did a lot of research, and I was definitely not going to buy new because I was just totally insane. But I feel comfortable with used equipment. So did the old eBay and Craigslist and stuff. And what I was basically seeing is that for a moderate level equipment, something equivalent to what I would be using with my spinning rods and bait casters and stuff now, that level there, okay, in like a 5 years ago level, okay, for reels they went, you have to spend basically around $300 to $500 for that level of a 3 to 5 year old reel in that moderately level fly reel situation. And I was like, damn, okay, this is going to be rough, because the other thing you need to know, you got that, plus then you've got the rod, which could be a little bit cheaper. You can probably get that equivalent in a couple $100, okay, because the technology really hasn't changed that much there. And you can spend thousands, but I mean, you can get that medium level, good solid level used 5 years ago for a couple $100 there too. So you're at $400 or $500. But then on top of that, the one of the more important part of it is like the backing and the line. Okay, that stuff, again, you got to buy 300 yards of, whether you use braid or you use a Dacron or whatever, you got that backing you got to do. Then the fly line itself is all specialty. You could spend $100, $150 for new line, and that you can't get 5-year-old stuff because you just don't know. So basically what I'm saying is that for a 5-year-old solid system, that you can go to the boat dock, and the other fly fishermen that are doing it professionally or whatever, is that's their thing, you'll look at your equipment and say, okay, that's a solid setup. Nothing shiny about it, but that'll work good. Okay, and you're looking at about $500, and I'm not going to spend $500 on it. So I was just looking for a great deal to pop up, and then a fluke came up that I wasn't even really think about it, but then this still came up. And what this is a Worldwide Sportsman combo. Okay, it's probably the cheapest tarpon fly rig setup that I've found on the net. If you bought it, you could buy that. You could buy new. Okay, and Worldwide Sportsman is a partition of Bass Pro Shops. Like, I don't know. I know the Worldwide Sportsman's down here, and they've got one in the Keys. It's not called Bass Pro Shops. It's actually called Worldwide Sportsman, but it's got the umbrella name of Bass Pro Shops with it. But I don't know on the mainland or the West Coast or whatever if that even involves themselves, or it's just on the East Coast or the Keys itself. But anyways, they have a Worldwide Sportsman's fly shop, they call it, and they're in those categories. They've got all the individual stuff, just like a Bass Pro Shops bass reel. They've got the name brand stuff, but then they've got the corresponding their own private label that matches up with it, and it's usually half the price of it. Not as equivalent quality, but pretty good. Okay, so that's what this setup is. You can go into a Worldwide Sportsman, Bass Pro Shops, and you can pick it up for $230, which involves the reel, the rod, backing, and fly line, all inclusive, outdoor, pretty much ready to go. And then I saw on eBay, I was looking at all this stuff, researching it, and this popped up as a combo because I was looking at 12 weights, which are the tarpon heavy duty stuff. And I think it was like $100 was the auction price, and I was like, oh, that's not a bad deal. I get that thing for under $150. I mean, brand new, never used. Then I'm out the door and I'm ready to go, and I don't have $500 involved in it, which was looking like I was ending up having to do. And I can catch one fish, it breaks, throw it in the ocean. I don't care. It would be worth it. I know there's a lot of stuff to drags and stuff, but to be honest with you, I mean, they run one time, they jump a couple of times, and then after that they just bulldog. I'm on my kayak, so I can't put a lot of drag on them anyways. I've got the pedals and the motor. I could run right up to them. So there's not like they're gonna get 400 yards away from me before I can catch up to them. So I just didn't see that as a requirement. So what the hell? So I bought it. I said what it is. It's a 12 weight rod. It's a 4-piece, so it breaks up into 4 sections. It's a 9-foot total, which is kind of the standard. So I knew that was okay there. The reel is actually a 10 weight, which is low for a tarpon rod, but since I thought I could use it for other species, once I did the tarpon thing, I could use it for bonefish, I could use it for permit. If I go out to the reef and catch jacks or even blackfin tuna outside the offshore stuff, it would be fine. It's not going to catch anything super huge that's going to run like crazy, but even if I did, I could still do the same thing with the tarpon. I get the pedals, I follow them, and so on. So that worked out fine there. Then it included 250 yards of 30-pound Dacron backing, and then some good shooting head fly line, tropical fly line. So, I mean, if you just listed the specs on it, it's fine. But then you tell someone, yeah, it's a $230 combo with everything. They're like, oh, that shit'll blow up and blah, blah, blah. That'll never work. And I just don't want to hear about it. So it is what it is. And I guarantee you I could pull in a tarpon with this. So I'm just going to use that as my setup. Outside of that, I ended up buying a bunch of combo buy of tarpon flies from a Colorado shop. I got 12 tarpon flies. Pretty cool. Seem to match what everybody's kind of using. Little streamers, other types of flats imitations. So I got those for 12 of them for I think I paid $16. Where if you go to the fly shop in Key West, they sell flies, I think, between $4 and $6 each. So again, I mean, just keeping those costs, be realistic about it. And then leaders, I'm making my own leaders. I'm just using all my tarpon fluorocarbon leaders that I use for my regular rigs, and you can tie them up. I'm using, for those that want to know, I'm using a 6-foot section of 60-pound fluorocarbon. Then I blend knot it down to 40-pound fluorocarbon 2-foot, and then I go to back up to 60-pound fluorocarbon 2-foot. So 6-foot, 2-foot, 2-foot, and made up a few of those leaders, so I don't have to buy leaders, and that was easy enough. And that's basically the setup. Oh yeah, he also came with a nice Sage case that. The case would probably, I think they go for around $50 or $60. So just the case itself was half the cost of the whole rod and stuff new. So I was like, all right, that's cool. So I think I got a good balance set up. Again, I'm not looking to go in this professionally. If I did that, I probably would boost it up. But get a couple tarpon on it, I'll be happy. And if it breaks after that, I'm good to go with it. So anyways, took it out, give it a test drive and check it out. And watch the rest of the video. Thank you.
Bye.